Good afternoon to all. My voice is audible. So participant is 146. So we have to wait 2 more or 3 more minutes. Yes, my voice is audible, ma. Please respond in chat box. Okay. So we have to wait for participants. There are less today. Yes. My screen is visible, ma. Yes, my screen is visible. Ma, yes. The today topic is memory organization. Already we discussed memory hierarchy and main memory in last class. Ma, my screen is okay or any? I need to change. Yes, my PPT is okay. Okay, thank you. If any issues, please respond in chat box. Okay. Yes. And memory organization. Okay. First we discuss about what is memory hierarchy. Okay. Memory hierarchy. Here coming to this memory hierarchy. In a computer system, memory is here in a computer system. Memory is essentially a part in any computer. Memory is just like a brain which is useful for storing information in computer. Okay. Mainly there are several types of memory there are in computer. Like here we are using the auxiliary memory, main memory and cache memory. Okay. Cache memory. First one is we go for the main memory. Okay. The main memory is mainly useful for in order to communicate directly with the CPU. The main memory. Okay. The main memory to communicate directly to the CPU. The CPU, in order to execute a program in the computer, so any task in the computer will be performed in computer by using CPU only. But here CPU execute a program. Here CPU execute a program. Only program present in main memory only. When CPU execute the program is present in main memory. Suppose the program present in auxiliary memory, or we can call here is a secondary memory. Okay. Then the CPU can't access the data. For example, we are accessing, suppose the program present in auxiliary memory or secondary memory, the CPU can't access the data. So CPU can access the instruction present in main memory only. The best example of this main memory is RAM, random access memory. This main memory called here volatile memory. That means whenever switch off the computer, the entire content of main memory will be lost. Okay, main memory can also call here is a primary memory. Okay, here main memory we can also call is the primary memory because is very, very important in order to execute the instruction by the CPU. Okay, if you take any program like C, Java, C++, whenever you save the program, then the program in secondary memory. During this compilation also, okay, when we are compiling, during the compilation also, the program will be beside in secondary memory, but at the time of the execution in operating system or DMA, direct memory access, DMA, transfer the program. Okay, transfer the program hard disk to main memory. Why? Because how execute the program? The CPU execute the program only when beside the main memory only. Now we talk about the auxiliary memory. Okay, in auxiliary memory, here auxiliary memory is a secondary memory. Okay, and auxiliary memory, what are the advantages of auxiliary memory? Auxiliary memory can also call secondary memory. Okay, and advantage is auxiliary memory is secondary memory is mainly useful in order to store the data permanent in the computer. What is the main advantage? First advantage of this auxiliary memory? Auxiliary memory, secondary memory is mainly used in order to store the data permanently in the computer. So that means auxiliary memory or secondary is useful for backup purpose. So in order to store the data permanently in the computer. Okay. So we uses here auxiliary or secondary memory. And here auxiliary memory is also called non-volatile memory. Why? Because you switch off the computer, that means auxiliary or secondary memory will not be lost. They will be stored permanently in the computer unless we delete the data. Okay, here we are using the two. One is a magnetic tapes, another one is a magnetic disk. Magnetic tapes mean older days maximum we are using. Magnetic disk is now we are using the hard disk. Okay, that is the main use of this auxiliary memory. So CPU, how can access the CPU? CPU can't access the data which is present in the auxiliary memory. Here the CPU can't access from this auxiliary memory. Okay. Now see about the cache memory is here this cache memory. What is cache memory? Cache memory is a small and faster memory. Okay, cache memory is a small and faster memory which has a higher accessibility. Okay, here cache memory is very, very faster memory, but the size of cache memory is very, very small. The cache memory is mainly useful in order to store the frequently instructions. Okay, let we for the loop, you can take the for loop. Okay, I equal 0, I less than 100. Okay, I plus plus. So how many times we are repeating that for loop? 100 times. So here 100 times we have to use the value of I. So in that occasion, what the OS do is here, OS transfer the instruction into the cache memory. Here cache memory extremely faster, so CPU can access the data of cache memory in faster manner, that if the data present in main memory only. Main memory here, what we are doing, main memory access time is slower when we are compared with the cache memory. Okay, main memory access time is slower when we are comparing with cache memory. Access time is okay, and the frequently used instruction, the operating system or IO processor or DMA, those from main memory to CPU, cache memory, main memory to cache memory. Okay, so the CPU can access a faster manner. We can say easily here what is a cache memory. Cache memory is can access the faster manner. And next one here is a IO processor. Okay, what is IO processor do here? The IO processor mainly useful in order to transfer the data. IO processor is useful to in order to transfer the data from hard disk to main memory. Whenever we are save the program, then the program store in hard disk only. During the compilation also, the program will reside in hard disk. Okay, but at the time of execution, IO processor will transfer the program which is in hard disk to main memory, so that CPU can execute the program which is present in main memory. So here IO processor is mainly useful in order to transfer the data from secondary memory to the main memory. Okay, now we talk about what are the properties of this memory. Mainly there are three properties. Okay, that is the storage capacity, okay, and cost per bit. What is the per cost, bit cost, okay, and what is the access speed. Okay, here you take one example, the memory hierarchy. For example, it is from cache memory, main memory, and storage devices that are the secondary memory. Okay, here cache memory, you take the from cache memory. Here cache memory, for example, you take 1 MB cache memory is, for example, is 3,000 rupees. Okay, when we are purchasing this cache memory, 1 MB cache memory size is 3,000 rupees. Compared to this RAM, if we are buying RAM is 4 GB, that is cost is 1,500 to 3,000. Okay, and the secondary memory, the storage device, here hard disk is 1 TB. For example, you take it is not 1 TB. It is the price is low. Okay. See, this is one more diagram for this. The how is accessing. Okay. The increasing order, the access time is increasing from this hard disk secondary memory to the cache memory. Okay. So the totally here we have three memory. We are using the main is cache memory, main memory, and here is the auxiliary memory. Okay, three types. Finally here, mainly to implement this is a multi-programming purpose. Okay, why we are using this memory hierarchy, why is implemented. Okay, the multiple programming purpose. One program wait for IO operations. Here one program wait for IO operations. The CPU allocate the task to the IO processor, and the CPU starts some other program. Okay, CPU starts some other program. Here CPU access time is very faster. Main memory access time is very slow. Okay. Comparing to this access speed, the cache memory is very fast. Main memory is relatively slow. Okay, hard disk is very slower when we are comparing with the cache memory and main memory. Okay, and next one is main memory. Okay, it's in main memory. The main memory is a central storage unit. Okay, the main memory is a central storage unit in a computer system. It is relatively large and fast memory used to store program and data during the computer operations. Okay. The principal technology used for the main memory is based on semiconductor integrated circuit. Okay, the integrated circuit RAM chips are available in two possible modes. One is static and dynamic. Okay, here what is the static RAM and dynamic RAM? Yes, what is the static and dynamic RAM? Static RAM, it is a collection of flip-flop which can store the binary information. Okay, static RAM here is a collection of flip-flop which can store a binary information. Here the flip-flop store the one bit of the information only. Okay, this is the one multiple choice questions. Okay, and the main advantage of SRAM is extremely faster. Okay, disadvantage is it is a very expensive. Okay, it is very expensive. In order to use this SRAM is cache memory. Okay, in order to use this SRAM is a cache memory. Here cache memory is designed by help of the static RAM only. Okay, coming to this dynamic RAM. Okay, here what is the dynamic here? DRAM, it stores the binary information in form electrical charges. Okay, here we are using electrical charges. Static RAM is binary information is electric charges that are applied to capacitors. Okay, the advantage of this dynamic RAM is, okay, what are these advantage? The storage capacity is very high. In dynamic RAM, the storage capacity is very high. Okay, and it reduces the power consumption. It reduces the power consumption with less amount of power. Okay, and the major application of the dynamic RAM is main memory. The main memory designs the help of DRAM. Okay, coming to next, and here some points. Nowadays the best example for main memory is what we can say is RAM only. Okay, but some portion of the main memory is ROM only. Okay, the best example for main memory we are using the RAM, and some portion we are using ROM also. Okay, see here one diagram. Good, typical diagram. Here read-only memory. Why we are using read-only memory? The major difference between the RAM and ROM. Here RAM is we know everyone is a volatile memory. When we switch off computer, the entire content will be lost. And ROM is a permanent memory. That means it stores the content permanently in the computer. Okay, you see here why ROM in main memory. Why ROM in main memory? The ROM content a program is called here ROM. Here we are taking the ROM. The ROM contain a program called bootstrapping loader program. Okay. What is the advantage? What is the advantage here? Whenever we switch on the computer, the main advantage of this, whenever we switch on the computer, then certain instructions need to be executed. Those instructions will be placed in bootstrap loader. suppose if place bootstrap inside the RAM, okay, and one second. Suppose we are placing the bootstrap inside the RAM, what will happen? Switch off the computer, then that content will be lost. That why the bootstrap program plays in ROM. This ROM plays in main memory. Yes, sir, can you explain again? Which one, Amma? Okay. See here, ROM and RAM. Here, simple. The RAM is a SRAM. Here, SRAM, it is a collection of flip-flop which can store the binary information. Here, we can store the binary information. Okay. And here, flip-flop of information only. Flip-flop stores here 1 bit of information. Okay. In order to, we are using the SRAM in cache memory. Here, in order to, we are using SRAM in cache memory. The cache memory is designed by static RAM. The cache memory is designed by help of the cache memory. Okay. And coming to this dynamic RAM, it stores the binary information in the form of the electric charges that are applied to the capacitors. Okay. These capacitors, the main advantage of this DRAM, what is the main advantage of this DRAM is capacity is the storage capacity is very high, and it reduces the power consumption with amount of power, with amount of less power. The major application of DRAM is main memory. Main memory is designed with the help of the DRAM. Okay. And here we are using the ROM. Why we are using this ROM? Okay, coming to here, why we are using main memory? The ROM is a non-volatile memory that permanent in computer, store the data in computer. Okay, coming to this here, my S is clear. RAM is okay. Yes, next here we are using some portion in RAM, some portion of RAM only, some portion is ROM. Okay, the ROM contain bootstrapping loading program. Here this ROM is contain the bootstrapping loading program. Whenever they switch off the program, okay, whenever we are switch offing the program, the bootstrap program from the main memory will be executed by the CPU. Okay, how the bootstrapping program from the main memory will be executed by the CPU. So here the operating system, in this diagram, the operating system transfer the bootstrap loader program to the CPU. Okay, operating system transfer the bootstrapping loader program to the CPU. Okay, operating allocate OS. Okay, operating system allocated this bootstrap loader program to the CPU. So this CPU starts executing the program. So this is about what is purpose of main memory, what way technology we are using. Okay, while which purpose designing the main memory. Okay, this is the main for the block diagram of ROM chip. Okay, here the size of we using here is a 128 words. Okay, here 128 words. The RAM can maximum store the words. What is the maximum store? The RAM says 128 bits, 128 words only. Okay, each word size is 8 bits. Here each word size is 8 bits. The 128 words mean here 128 means 2 power 7. So 7 bit is required to specify the address. Okay, whatever we address in that specifying is 7 bits is required. Here control inputs. Whatever we are taking here, control inputs of RAM is first 2 chips. Okay, the 2 chips, that is the selection input. S1 chip. Okay, this is the inputs, chip selection inputs. S1, this both is chip selection. C1. Okay, what is C1 here? C1 is chip select, where we have here we have 2 chip selections. That is how 2 power 2 means the 4. 2 power 2 means 4. Then we can use 4 RAMs. Here we can use the 4 RAM in the computer. Mouse is not working. Okay. Those RAM stores 128 words only. Let assume more number of words in a computer. Here we are storing more number of words in computer. Then we maintain other RAM. Okay. For example, calculate for one RAM we are using this. There are, for you take 2 chips selection control unit, inputs. Okay, then we can have 2 power 2. 2 power 2 means 4 RAMs. Here we are using 2 power 2 is 4 RAMs, and let us assume that 8 RAMs. Okay, what is the 8 RAMs in computer? How? The chip selection should be 2 power 3. Okay, 2 power 3. Who can 8 RAMs. Okay. Likewise, depend on the RAM chip, we have to maintain the chip selection control inputs. That's why we are using here chip selection control inputs. For example, in we will see the 4 not working. Okay. Okay, one more is there, and there 4 RAMs. For example, we will see next diagram we have. Okay, for example, we are taking the 4 RAMs, and here what 8-bit data bus mean what? Bidirectional. Here in ROM we are transferring the bidirectional data. Okay, here 2 chip selection input. One is here, see in a RAM chip. Okay, CS1. What is CS1? CS2 bar, and read RD, read input, write input. Okay, and AD7. Okay, 8-bit address. Here, how many bits are required? Specify the address. That is we are AD7. That's why AD7 we are using. And next one is the 8-bit data bus. Is a bidirectional data bus, means we can perform the read and write operations. Here we can perform read and write operation. Yes, my signal is problem. Ma, please respond. My voice is audible or any network issue from my side? Clear. Okay. So here is the 8-bit data bus. This 8-bit data bus is bidirectional bus. Okay. And here the CPU here only write the operation. The 8-bit data bus we can perform the read and write operations. And write operation means transferring the data from writer mean transferring the data from CPU to main memory. Okay, CPU can access the data. And read operation. What is the read mean here? Only CPU can read the main memory data. CPU can read only main memory data. That means the data of ROM will be allotted to the CPU. Here we have bidirectional data bus. Okay, that is transferring from both side, read and write operations. Next, coming to the function table. Okay, in this function table, if you understood this function table, we get complete idea about what is the read and write. Okay, here we can perform either read operation or write operations of the RAM. Okay, when the chip selection control unit, we are taking the chip selection control unit, that is a R1, R2, SC1 and SC2. Okay, coming to here, one more point. When we are taking the, for example, CS1 is as well as is 1. Coming to the here, this diagram also, no problem. Okay. Okay, here CS1 is 1. First we take what is this memory functions, what is inhabit, what is the mean of this inhabit. The inhabit, we are not performing any operation. Inhabit, what is inhabit? We are not performing any operations. We can perform read and write operations. Okay. And what is the high independence here? What is high independence? Means the open circuit. When we are using the RAM and ROM chips, the open circuit doesn't carry any signal. It does not perform any operations. Okay, it does not perform any operations from the input main memory input data to RAM or output data from RAM. Okay, here now you take one example. For example, CS1 and CS2 bar is 0, 0. Okay, this cross mark here, we are not performing any operations. Okay, in chip selection control unit, or for example, you take 0, 0. Okay, 0, 0, 0, 1. Okay, and 1, 1. If it is not possible to perform any operations on RAM, okay, it does not, here it does not perform any operations. And you take here CS1 is 0 and CS2 bar is CS1 is 1, CS2 bar is 0. Okay, here read is 0 and write also is 0. So here in impedance mean here not performing any signals, does not performing any signals. So you take here whatever the read and write operations, read and write operations is 0 and 1 is a write. When you are 0 and 1 is the input data to RAM, and 1 and this X here not performing this, so output data from RAM. Okay. Coming to this memory connection to CPU, how we are connecting the RAM and ROM chips are connected to the CPU through the data and address bus. One second. Okay, RAM and ROM chips are connected to a CPU through the data and address bus. The lower address lines in the address bus select the bytes within the chips, and other lines in address bus select a particular chip through the chip select inputs. For example, you take the one diagram here. Okay. How connection is established main memory to CPU. This is important, Amma. How we are establishing connection to main memory to CPU. Okay. Here you see we are 4 RAMs here, 128 into 8 and 4 RAMs and 1 ROM, 128 into 8 ROM. Okay. Here read operator, here CPU read operations we perform in the read operation here and everywhere from first RAM, second, third, fourth. Okay, and read operation here read. And coming to this 1 to 7 bits, okay, it's only address, the 87 address. Okay, and here address bus, here data bus is connected to with the 4 RAMs and the address bus. This address bus is 1 to 7, 87 we connected, and 8. This 8 is connected to chip selection 1. Okay, and as well as the ROM also. In ROM here connected to 8 bit. Okay, and the 1 to 7 bit, this is connected ROM also. Okay, and remaining 8 and 9, this address bus will connected to this 89. Okay, and this is the process how to connect the main memory connection to CPU. Okay, next coming to auxiliary memory. Okay, what is auxiliary memory? The auxiliary memory is most common magnetic disk and tapes. Okay, and the magnetic drums and optical disc also we are using. And the principles, the magnetics and electronics, optics and electromechanical systems. Okay, the important characteristic access the mode and access time and transfer rate and capacity and the cost. These are the, okay, what is access time here? Access time is seek time plus transfer time. Access time is, what is access time? Seek time plus transfer time. What is seek time here? To position the read write head to a location. We will see the diagram. Where is the read write location? Read write head. Okay, don't confuse. In next slide we have the diagram. Okay, and what is the transfer time? Time to transfer the data. What is the transfer time here? You can transfer the data within time. Okay, and the transfer rate. Here you see the transfer rate, the number of characters or words that the device can transfer per second. Okay, and the magnetic disk here. What is the magnetic disk? Okay, you see here diagram. Okay. Okay. See here circular plate. Okay, this circular plate is metal or plastic. Okay, metal or plastic coated with magnetized material. Both side are used. Okay, when we are using both side. Okay, several discs may be stacked on a spindle. Spindle mean it's what we call the several disc may be tag spindle ante a coat, that is one coat. Okay, and the read write, here you see the read write head is available on each surface, both side. Okay, here bits are stored in the magnetized surface, where the bit is store the magnetic surface area. Okay, and the concentric circle you are taking, for example, this all circles is called the tracks. Okay, this all circle we can call as the tracks. Tracks are divided into sections. Okay, that sections we are calling here is the sector. Okay. Okay, here a track near this track near the circumference is longer than the track near the center of the disk. Okay, near the center of the disk, if bits are recorded with equal density, okay, some tracks will have more bits than others. Okay, and some disks use a visible recording density with a higher density near the center to equalize the number of bits on the all tracks. Okay, and what are the main of this read and write? The minimum quantity of information which can be transferred. Okay, the minimum, whatever the data we are transferring, the minimum quantity of information which can be transferred in this sector. For example, here to here. Okay, a single read write, a single here read write head may be used for each disk surface. Okay, the track address bits are used to move the head into the specific track. Okay, a single read write head may be used for each disk surface. The track address bit are used to move a head into specific track. Okay. Or here separate read write head may be used for each track in each surface. The address bit can select particular track head. That also we can take. What is the magnetic tape here? The magnetic tape of plastic coated. Already we discussed. Okay. Magnetic coated with recording medium. And bits are recorded as how bits is recording? Magnetic spotted on the tape along with several tracks. Here like you see, this is also with a spotted head. Okay. Here how many bits we can record it at a time? Okay. How many bits you can record? 7 or 9 bits you can record in from a character. The read write heads are mounted on one in each track, so that data can be recorded and read has sequence of characters. Okay, this is about the auxiliary memory. Okay, tape can be stopped. For example, how is this movement? Tape can be stopped. They started to move forward or in reverse. They cannot be started or stopped between the characters. We can't stop. We cannot be start and stop between the character. So the information is recorded in the blocks is called record. What is record here? Yes, the information recorded in block is called record. Okay, that record is it maybe is flexible and variable. Okay, and for example, what is the gap here? Gaps of unrecorded tapes are inserted between the records. The tape starts moving and stopping using gaps. Okay, and here we can use the phrase record is some what is we call the ID. ID means the bit patterns. Okay, bit pattern is beginning and ending. Okay, this is the main use of this auxiliary memory. Okay. Okay, please everyone take 5 minutes break. Yes, 5 minutes break. After 5 minutes break, we will discuss next topic. Okay. Take 5 minutes break, Amma. My screen is visible. Which screen is you are showing here? My PPT or this Adabo Connect, which is visible to you? Adabo Connect. Adabo. Now, yes. Okay, PPT, okay. Okay, thank you. Yes, next topic is associative memory. Okay, this associative memory is also called the content address memory. Okay, this associative memory is accessed by the content of the data rather than by an address. Okay, what is associative memory is accessed by the content of the data rather than by an address. Okay. Generally, we know that the CPU execute a program based upon address. How the CPU executing? Based upon the address. Yes. The CPU execute instruction based upon the address. So, various in associate memory. Okay, in associate memory, what will be happen is CPU execute the instruction based upon the content. So instead of the address, the CPU execute the instruction based on this content. Okay. That why we can call this memory is content addressable memory. Okay. Why we are using this auxiliary memory is then the time required to find. Okay. First to listen everyone. Then the time required to find an item as well as executing that item will be execute will be what happened here substantially reduce. Okay. Then CPU execute the instruction based upon the address. How CPU execute based upon the address? So the amount of time will be reduced if the instructions are executed based upon the content rather than the address. Okay. And see here the block diagram. And okay, if we want to search for a employee information, observe this block diagram. For example, we want to search some employee information. The employee information content, that is, for example, what employee name, employee number, employee salary, like that we can search of the employee information. So here we can search the information based upon the employee number. Why employee number? Because the employee number is unique. Employee number stored in argument register, where this employee number, this unique will be stored augmented register. Here. Okay. Here the associate memory contain the employee details, so that employee number search with the corresponding employee number which are present in associate memory. If a match found, okay, if a match found, then the corresponding instruction will be retrieved and executed. So now that information that contain the word of employee number information will be stored in augmented register. Okay, what is a key register here? The key register used for comparison purpose. Here we are using key register is for comparison purpose. We know that computer does not understood alphabets or digits or symbol also. The computer understand only 0 and 1s. Here key register contain zeros and ones. So here our information will be stored in the form of zeros and ones. The key registers zeros and ones. We can compare the content of argument register. Here we are compare the content of argument register with the content of the associate memory. With the content of the associate memory. Only when the key register contains ones. Okay, the key register contains ones. Suppose if the key register bits are 0, then the comparison will not be done. If key register is 0, the comparison will be done. If key register is 1, okay. And if key register 1, those augmented and the associate will be compared. Associate memory. If key register 1, then only this augmented register and this associate memory compare. Okay. And here we are using one more is a match register. See, look into this diagram. Okay, what is match register here? Suppose if a word is augmented register matches with the corresponding word in the associate memory. What is match register here? The word augmented register matches with the corresponding word in the associate memory. The corresponding match register bit is set to 1. Okay, the corresponding match register bit is set to 1. Suppose if there are 5 words present in the associate memory. So out of 5 words, 3 words match. Okay. Out of 5 words, 3 words match with argument register. Then for each word, we have to maintain 1 or 0. Okay, here we are taking the 5 words present in the associate memory. So out of 5 words, 3 words match with the augmented register. Okay. For each word we have to maintain zeros or 1. That's why it is matched or not. Then only we say easy. If it match, we have to keep bit is 1. Okay. The augmented and associate if match, it is a bit is 1. If does not match, we have to keep bit is 0. That's why we are keeping here zeros and ones. If augmented register match with this associate memory, keep as a bit 1 and not match is 0. Okay. This size of the match register depends upon the number of words. What is the size of this match register? It's depending on the words that we uses in associate memory. Okay. For each word, we have maintained 1 and 0. After that, if any match is found, then the corresponding word information will be produced as the output. CPU execute that word. Okay. Any match found. If here any match found, the corresponding word information will be produced as output. CPU execute that word. Example. Here we are what is M? Here we are taking M words and N bits per word. Okay. And here compare each word in this content address memory is parallel with the content of argument register. If this content of augmented this content address memory, if I is a and m of I, we are taking this 1. Okay, read subsequently accessing the CAM. CAM is what? CAM, content accessible addressable memory for CAM words of I for mi equal to 1. Okay, this is the same what we discussed now. And how we can store one cell of associative memory? Yes, how we are storing one set of associative memory? For example, you take here one example. Here A, okay. Here A is, we are taking 101. Okay, and here 101. K is A. What is A here? Augmented register. K is key register. Okay, here augmented register 101. Key is 111. Word 1 in associate memory. Okay, 101. Here word 1 100 100. So this address is not match, no match. Okay, and augmented is 101. Word 2 is 101. This address is matched. Okay, this is the one example. How we are comparing it here? We are using the flip-flopping one cell. Okay, 1 bit. Flip-flop is mainly used in order to store 1 bit information. Here we can using some RS flip-flop, SE. Okay, S stand for set and R stand for reset bit. Okay, and coming to this here, how we are comparing this word auxiliary memory A1, the augmented registers A1, AJ, AN, and K1, KJ, KN. Okay, and here associate memory to matches, match 1, 2, 3. For example, you take here. Okay, if here word 1. Okay, word 1 and this is bit 1. Word here C11. This is these words we are comparing with this match. Okay, and when it is match, then only it will be 1. If not match, is bit 0. This is the one diagram. The associated M words and N cells per word. M words, here see M words and N bit per word. How we are? This is the diagram representation. Yes, this is one more example. Same here. What we are using, the associative memory of M word and M cell. Same the diagram this. And internal allocation of typical one cell is how we are converting the IJ. I is the word and this J is a bit here. Okay, Cij. And here we are taking the input and write input, read write operation, and when it is matches. Okay, here Fij. What is Fij here? It stands for store the cells. This store the cells into match. Okay, here store the cells Fij in flip-flop storage cell. So the cell transfer during this write operation will be stored in the Fij. Okay, if we are write operation, we are making the data will be transfer the write operation will be stored in Fij. Okay, and here read. What is read here? The Here read stand for reset. Okay. R stand for is S stand for is the set. R stand for the reset. Okay. And here it is also accepting and get accepts. Here accepting and get accepts with input data. How we are accepting here? With gates. If the transfer 0, then is complement. Here, for example, we are transferring 0. It is a complement of 0 store the register or mean read here. Okay. So if the data will be not transferring, for example, you take transfer 1, then the complement of 1 store into read. So that why we are using not get. Okay. The read during the read operations, which is available in the store cell Fij. Here the store cell is Fij, and here we have to match the logic bit, which is the match logic. Okay. Here what we do in the match logic? Here the match logic do is we know that match logic compare the content of argument register. Already what we discussed, we compare in the argument register with content of this associate memory. Okay, this is one more example how the data will be storing same. Here augmented register, and here we are taking the key register. Okay, and multiple time. Okay, how we are doing multiple, this one and this one, K2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so on. Yes, next coming to this cache memory. Okay, we know what is the cache memory. Cache memory is extremely faster memory. Okay, what is cache memory? Is extremely faster memory that access time is very speed. Okay, cache memory access time is very speed, as well as is very expensive. Which memory is expensive? Cache memory is expensive. It is very small size comparing to the hard disk. Okay, it is very small size. The cache memory store only KB of instructions. Here cache memory store only KB or some MB. Okay, maximum it is KB of instructions. What is the advantage of this cache memory? Yes, generally we can take any program, then a certain set of instructions are to be executed rapidly or frequently, and remaining instruction execute only once. For example, you take let us assume that a program which contain for loop. Okay, so the for loop will be executed several times. We know. Okay, various remaining statements are to execute only one. Within the for loop, we can execute it multiple times. Okay, and out of this for loop, that we execute only once. Yes, we are observing every day when you are programming, executing. Okay, let's assume we have a program that contain the function call. For example, you take the function call programs. We know the advantage of this function call. The function call are mainly used for reusability purpose. We are using function call reusability function purpose. That means if we want to execute a set of statement rapidly, okay, then only we use a function. So that means here we make all that functions several times. So that functions call will be executed several times and remaining statement execute only once. Here the point is, if a program contain some looping control statements or function call, then those statements are be executed very frequently or very rapidly, and remaining set of statement execute less frequently. Okay, the properties is called locality of reference. These properties we can call here is locality of reference. What is a locality of reference? A certain statement to be executed very frequently and remaining statements are executed less frequently. What is the locality of reference here? Certain statements are to be executed very frequently and remaining statements are executed less frequently. Okay, now the help of the cache memory, what can do? It is placed those active instructions, those frequently used instructions, those rapidly access instructions in the cache memory. If we place those access instruction in the cache memory, then the total execution time of program will be reduced. Okay, here whenever we are in this access time, we are instruction time and cache memory, if we place those frequently access instruction in the cache memory, then this total execution time of a program will be reduced. Okay, that is the average memory access time will be reduced. Which time it will be average? Memory access time will be reduced. Why? Because the advantage of cache memory is access time is extremely faster. Okay, average not okay. The main it is not average, we can call it is main advantage of the cache memory is access time is extremely faster than main memory access time. Okay, the CPU can access the content of cache memory. Here CPU can access the content of cache memory is very fastly, so that the total, so here the total exact time of program will be reduced, as well as this average time also. Okay, and the total average memory access time will be also reduced. That is the advantage of the cache memory. The total average memory access time will be also reduced. That is advantage of this cache memory. So that why we have to placing cache memory in between the CPU and main memory. Yes, whenever CPU need to be executed an instruction. Yes, whenever the CPU need to be executed and instructions are word, first it check whether that word is present in cache memory or not. Okay, CPU it need to execute an instructions or word. First it check whether that word is present in cache memory or not. Suppose if that word is present in cache memory, the CPU access that word. If that word is available in cache memory, CPU access that word and execute that word. Suppose if that word is not found in cache memory, okay, then if your CPU checking that word is available in cache memory or not, if it is that word is not found in that cache memory, then CPU access to the main memory. Okay, here CPU access to the main memory. So from main memory that word will be transferred to cache memory, So now CPU access cache memory to execute that word. Okay, the CPU access to the main memory, and main memory, that word will be transferred to the cache memory, and now CPU access that cache memory to execute that word. Understood, ma? And here we can analyze the performance of this cache memory by using hit ratio. How we are analyzing it? Analyzing the performance of cache memory is using hit ratio. Okay, what is hit ratio here? The hit ratio is the number of hits by hits plus misses. How we are calculating this hit ratio? Okay, the hit ratio is here, not there. That hit ratio is number of hits by hits plus misses. How? What is mean by here? The developer, the hit ratio is very high. Mean most of the time is CPU accessing cache memory. Most of the time CPU accessing cache memory instead of main memory. So less amount of time we can execute the program. Okay, less amount of time execute the program. Here the word is not present in cache memory. Here the word is not present in cache memory. Then corresponding word transferred to the main memory to cache memory. So how transformation will be done? Okay, how this transformation will be done? That should be happen help of the mapping. How we are doing that? Help of the mapping. Okay, the mapping. And here mapping is a process of using which is corresponding word will be transferred from main memory to the cache memory. Okay, here mainly the specification of corresponding between main memory blocks and cache blocks. Okay, and mainly here the three types of mapping are available. Okay, that is associative mapping, direct mapping, set associative mapping. Okay, here mapping is available in three types. Okay, three types of mapping. One is associative mapping, direct mapping, and set associative mapping. Associative mapping here, coming to this associative mapping, the mapping table. Observe here the associative mapping cache. This store both the address and content of the memory word. Okay, here you observe the associative mapping with associate map. That is, in order to implement the cache, we are using some associate memory. Here you observe the CPU address. Here the CPU address, the 15 bits. Okay, here CPU generate the address size is 15 bit. CPU generate the address size is 15 bits. The size of main memory is 32k words. Okay, the size of word is 32. Each word stores in 12 bits of information. Okay, here some information, background information of this 15 bits. Okay, and here you are storing the 32 kilobytes into 12. Okay, here 32 means 2 power 5 and kilobyte is 2 power 10. Okay, and that is 15 bits, 2 power 15. So that is the 15. That corresponding that 15 bits address stored in augmented register. This 15 bit is stored into augmented registers. Okay, here the address. Okay, this address is 3 words. For example, see here the address, each word size is 15 bits. Okay, we are using this octal notation. Okay, octal notation. Here we are using the octal notation. mean each digit represent 3 bits. Here each bit, this 0 and 1, 0, 0, 0. Here each bit is represent 3 bits of information. Okay, 5 into 3, 15. Okay, in address and data, here 4. 4 into 3, 12. Understood? And the CPU generate address that is called, for example, you take, we need to search, the CPU need to search the data. It is a 22235. Okay, this 22235 compared to the first, second, third, like we will compare with all addresses. Okay, so here a match is found. So this word is delivered to the CPU. CPU execute that word. Okay, CPU here searching is one word. For example, you take 22235. Okay, and this word for searching all addresses. This is found, that will be transferred to the CPU and CPU execute that word. Suppose the corresponding word is not present in the cache memory, then that word will be transferred to from main memory to cache memory. If your word is not match, that word will be transferred from main memory to cache. Let us assume the cache memory is completely full. For example, here cache memory is completely full. Why? Because the cache can store at a time is 512 bits word. Okay, 512 bits words only. Then we have to replace one of the word in cache memory to store a new word to main memory. So which word we have to replace depending on replacement algorithm. What are the replacement algorithm here? Replacement algorithm we are using first in, first out, LRU, like that we are using replacement algorithm. Okay, coming to this direct mapping. Okay, here the direct mapping generated n bits. That means the CPU generate address is consisting of 2 parts. That is, one is index field and tag field. Okay, the k bit of index field and n k bit of tag field. 2 types here. Tag bits is tag size is 6 bits. Here observe the diagram, addressing relationships. Here tag is 6 bit. The 6 bit is consisting of 0, 0. Okay, 2 zeros, 6 bits, 2 zeros. Indexing is 9 bits, is 3 zeros. Okay, and here we for example, this is address is comparing the 32k into 12. The memory size is 15 bits. Okay, data is 12 bits here. Okay, and next coming to this cache memory here. The cache memory is 512 into 12. The address bit is 9 and data bit is 12. Okay, when we are comparing to here, come here, one is the memory address and this is the memory data. Here memory address and here memory data. This memory, for example, you take these bits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 into 3 is 15 bits address and 4 into 3 the 12 bit of data. Okay, and coming to this cache memory, here index address, the index is 9 bits. Okay, index is 9 bits is 0, 0, 0. Index representing 0, 0, 3 bits, and tag is 2 zeros. Tag represent 0. And here we are, for example, we are comparing this. You take this address, memory address. You need to found this memory to the cache data. How? First is indexing, that is the 000. Where we have 000 here, 777, not 000, 777, 777, 777. Okay, here the hit. For example, when we are indexing is 777, we are more addresses in 777. See, the hit ratio performance will be decreases. If it is less, it is okay. For example, we can all check from here this 777 like that. Okay. How we are easy to found the tag. The tag address is 0 777 is found. Okay. Like that, we are transferring the data from CPU to cache memory. Cache memory, if we not found in the data in cache memory, again the CPU send the information to the main memory send data to the cache memory. Okay, this is the process how executing. This is the for more example. Okay, we don't have time. Here we can, for example, we are adding the more data. Here you see only one. For example, here one more data. Here we are storing only 1200. Only one data only. If you need to store more data in this address, okay, we are adding here this data, this indexing we are using here. Like that, here the tag data, and again same address we are using. Take one more example here. This is the exact table. For indexing is 000, the tag is 01, and the data is this, and tag again 0, address is in this. Index is 000 only, and here changing this tag, and if tag is changed, address automatically will change. Okay, and coming to this set associate, the main advantage of this set associative mapping is we can store address in multiple set of, okay, multiple we can store here. And coming to this direct mapping, only we store once. Here multiple, and here we store, here is one, here is multiple. Okay, and this is about this memory organization. Okay, have doubt, please response in chat box. Okay, if don't have any doubt, I start the quiz. This is the 4th unit. Yes.